Alright, folks, I'm gonna do another recording here. This is a noobcast, meaning I don't know much about this game. I'm not gonna pretend to. I'm a Silver League player, so I'm just gonna be vague about it and speak generally. What do we got here? You got SCVs coming out. We got drones coming out. Overlord Scout. Supply Depot. This is Cass versus Lambo. I know the last game I cast was Lambo also. It's just a coincidence. I grabbed these off of off of some website. These are just some of the most popular games that have been played in the past, within the month, since February 1st, I guess. Not much to say at this point, is there? Lambo got a hatch, got a gas. Barracks is up. This guy's got his gas already. Two overlords. Look at that boy. Other one's just waiting. Probably a pool. Yep. And what's he doing at a factory? Reaper. Second command center. Got a drone mining. Finishing the wall off. Reactor on the barracks. Another gas. Overlord. It's just here waiting. He likes to watch. Got some lings and a queen. Third hatch. Mules. Orbital command. Starport. Oh, here this boy comes. Yeah. He's gonna try and shoot some workers. Queen comes up and runs away before the lings get there. Looks like they'll be fine. Takes a pot shot at the hatchery. Looks like he won't get away. A few of these cars come in. And they'll get to burn some lings. Maybe. Let's see, they don't want to fight the queens though, so they're just going to try and burn this hatchery up to force an engagement. Or just get a little damage in there and run away. What are they doing? They don't want to fight the queens for sure. I guess they really want some drone kills, but you know, they can't get it. They can't get it because of those queens. Angry mamas. They don't want their babies to get roasted. Let's see what's going on back at home. Building more production structures. Got a Banshee on the way. More cars. Roasty toasty boys, what you got? Armories. 2 armories. Another command center. So he's gonna try and expand. He's got all his cars back at home. Reveals his Banshee. What does the Zerg have? He's got his pool. 2 evolution chambers. And a baneling nest. Well, okay. I mean, I guess he's probably just gonna play defensive and try and macro up, and that'll probably work pretty well. Zerg is. We got another Terran here who's kind of afraid to go onto the creep and pick fights. And also, you know, it's like I feel like he could be going up on Banshees right now. Like if he had a bunch of Banshees, he could blow up these spore crawlers, or he could catch these queens out of position. But he's only got 3 and he's not using them. I guess there might, oh, there's an overseer out, so those Banshees are already, you know, like in danger because they don't want to fight 4 queens if someone can see them. Look at that. Are they gonna cloak? What was that? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? You could see the overseer. Meanwhile, and he's got a lot of production buildings. I guess they're working. He's got a bunch of cars. He's gonna wish, you know, a minute from now or 2, he's gonna wish that he had some heavy tech. There's an overlord right over his base and he doesn't seem to have a single marine. Doing research for cyclones and hellions. This is exactly what that last guy did in the last video. This might be the same guy, because in the last video I cast, it was a Terran player with a barcode. This one's called Cast, but he's using pretty much the same fighting style. He's still, you know, like, doesn't want to engage the queens, so he pulls back and burns some creep. This is kind of painful to watch, to be honest, because I feel like if he pushed it a little bit, you know, it's like, it's partly that this is not a good composition, but it's also like he's afraid to engage, so he's wasting his time with this shit. And this Zerg player is on 5 bases. Look at this army that's gonna like flank him and trap. Well, okay, wait, yeah, that's not a ramp. I guess they can't really get him. If he attacks, they can get him, but yeah, look at him wasting his scans on 1 creep tumor. Yeah, they want that down so that they can trap him back there. They're gonna control that whole high ground for sure. He's just burning creep, but he won't fight the army. He can't fight that army anymore. He needs tanks. Does he have tanks? Yeah, but they're back at his base. His liberators? Alright. Yeah, so now he's gonna attack. No. It's like his liberators and his tanks are for defense. Oh man, he's gonna try and send 1 liberator out. Pretty sure that overseer saw it. Doesn't seem to have anything that shoots up. Changed his mind about that. I guess liberators count as anti-air. He's got 1 tank back there, unsieged. At least he's producing a bunch of stuff. Got a bunch of factories. See, those tanks are sieged up. Here's a big fight for that. That's not a desirable fight either. No. Like, if he brought the tanks with him. But no, the tanks are for defense. If he brought the liberators with him, but no, the liberators are for defense. Well, I mean, I'm just saying this Zerg player here is managing to have an army which serves for attack and defense, because the creep, you know, it can move all around. Just a few minutes more, it's going to have a corridor of creep. Yep, now they're traveling. I'm not trying to say this game is over, but, I mean, you know, 1 point for the Zerg, 0 points for the Terrans. You can see the supply is actually close. Zerg's lost many more units, but many fewer resources. Another useless, stupid battle. I don't know, Terran's fighting like a Zerg now, just throwing away units on silly, reckless attacks. This guy's already got the Vipers out. He's got a big army. He doesn't want to push into this. I don't know what the fuck a Viper is. Consume structure. Duct. Blinding cloud. Parasitic bomb. Okay, so it has like an area of effect. It has that dark swarm type of thing from the old game, so I mean that can counter a lot of this army stuff. Those will be essential. I don't know if they've been scouted yet. That's a lot of Hydras. Those little coastal cars don't want to fight all this. I mean, he can't advance into this. So the Terran player is probably just going to macro up. He's got 5 bases. And he's got a good position. Probably wishes he was on the high ground. Blew up about half that army because they didn't fight together. You don't want to fight this at a choke. Zerg is just getting annihilated because they shouldn't have gone in there in the first place. This is about, I think that started at like 12:30, so that might be the decisive engagement in this game. But if the Terran pushes in with just those Thors and those tanks, they'll be in danger too. So he's gonna play it safe, probably. He probably wishes he was on the high ground now. Like, if he pushed down this corridor and had something to block down here, if he took this position, he'd be doing pretty well. But instead it looks like he pulls back, toasting more creep. Is this a dropper lord? Nope. It's just a scout. Toasting more creep. Oh yeah, there we go, a Nidus. Let's see. It's not the fullest Nidus I've ever seen. Wings out. Okay. He knows what he's going for, but while these toasty boys are clearing up workers, so he's the units lost. I don't know, dude. Yeah. I feel like if I was a real caster, I'd be able to tell you how many workers had been killed, but I'm sorry, I can't. Let's see. Okay, so he's got this base that ain't mining. This base, not mining. That base is alright. That base is alright. And then, you know. That's being built. Okay, so what's the incomes? Looks like the Terran is a bit ahead in it's got a huge army, but not much of a composition. It's just all Thors, you know. It's pretty hard. Pretty hard to fuck with, for sure. It's gonna push in. But there's more to this story, because, you know, there's still like 10 or 12 minutes left in the game. So this looks like the main Zerg army. Holding back from engaging. Those are all Brood Lords, which I think might be pretty good against Thors, but they're being real careful. Just wasted a bunch of scans. Just trying to kill all that creep. Oh yeah, fungal growth going down. Looks like some kind of death cloud thing. Those things are getting sawed up. Slaughtered. Another round of broodlings. This one's being mind controlled or some shit. I guess they're good against armor. They blew up a bunch of them. Yeah, look at them. All those swords are dead. See, that's why they were afraid to go onto the creep. They didn't even kill that many broodlords. I don't know what that thing is, other than making more broodlords, right? Right, that's pretty nasty. And I guess that's just all Lings. Nidus popping out in the same place. Got a bunch of toasty boys waiting for it. Alright. So now there's a counterattack. More broodlords are done. What are those? These are festers. Yeah. Okay, so it caused a little bit of trouble. Got the army out of position. Now there's nothing. These guys could push in, but I guess they don't know it. And that's probably not what they want to fight. Yeah. But they got all those corruptors. I know corruptors are an anti-air unit. I think broodlords are not that great at fighting air. And we got the toasty boys trying to do a little run by. This Terran's doing pretty well, like, despite having no army now. But you know the Zerg is gonna macro him down pretty soon. Yeah, the Lings don't want to fight those dudes. And the main Zerg army has been pulled back here to deal with this harass. So that base isn't really mining. You look at the income, Terran's now far ahead in minerals. Got a bunch of these Vikings taking another base, which seems reckless because they don't really have much of an army, do they? I guess they need to. Like, that one's not mining, that one's not mining, that one's not mining, that one's mining, that one's mining, but it's small. That one's sort of mining. Yeah, they used up most of the minerals, and then those Lings come in and try and mess it up. So now the Zerg player definitely knows where this is. Their army is looking good again. I mean, their mining, like I said, is not that good. You know, they might want to be taking this base or this base. They can beat the Terran again here. If they can beat the Terran again here, the Zerg will pretty much be wrapping it up. There's more reinforcements coming in. They join up with the army. Those broodlords, you know, they get to hang back. They're not getting damaged. Oh yeah, those infestors, they're stealing more of the dudes. I don't know. It's like you don't see those area of effect attacks hitting them like they were before, but they're being pushed back again. I guess it came down to those infested Terrans. I don't know why it should, but you know, they want to preserve this army. They don't want to go to the end. These broodlords get what you call free units. Okay, so they both came out of that pretty bruised, but the Zerg still has all the pieces of his army in order, right? He's got the infestors, he's got the broodlords, got the vipers. Whereas this Terran player just has a bunch of Thors. You know, like I said before, that's not a diverse composition. You really want what you might call like mixed combined arms. You really want combined arms, especially as a Terran player, I think. He's doing pretty well with these harasses, but clearing up creep alone is not going to save him. Especially if he has to use a scan every time. He needs a Viper out. Look at his mineral bank too, but he's not building. That's maybe the fundamental problem here. Is he building? Production? No, he's not building. He's building a siege tank and a fusion core. He must be going for battle cruisers. Is he saving it for battle cruisers? It's not going to matter if he loses before then. And he's not going to beat that shit if it fights him even a little bit tricky. But this base isn't on creep anymore. This base is mining. That must be the one he wants, because it's mining. That one's trying to come up. Here's the army. It's ready to engage, but he's not going back on the creep. That one's half mined out. That one's mined out. That one's mined out. That one's mostly mined out. These swords are going home. You can see why he doesn't want to fight that. I think battle cruisers would be pretty good against this. But, I mean, just having that much in the bank, it's like, I don't think Thors are a frontline unit. I think they're an artillery unit, you know? Like, you want to mix them with stuff. Well, what do I know? I just know he's got a lot of idle factories and a lot of surplus resources. Okay. Building missile turrets, bunch of liberators. Bunch of liberators might help. It'll be interesting to see where this goes. I watched my last replay and I had the game sounds on 2 ends, so you could barely hear my voice during the battle, like the big battle. Anyway, I play with the music off, because like it gets annoying hearing the same songs over and over, but also like when I play the game, I want to be relaxed, and that intense music kind of makes my heart pound, which like doesn't help me think clearly, you know. I put on like chill electronic music in the background. Okay, that's a pretty solid army. That's a scary army there. Like, again, the Zerg player has a composition, the Terran player has a bunch of force. Guess he's got scans for days, but it seems like he's wasting them. I think the Zerg player is doing pretty well in a tough situation. The problem is he can't get off this creep because the Terran army is so good. But he needs to expand. Right, so they're blowing up this base, which is one of the only ones that can mine. They'll probably go for this one next. Although it's a mistake to send just those few guys out there, but you know, the Zerg army can't find a place to engage. Brood lords are shooting their dudes out. You know, they're throwing their little babies out already. Liberators are falling. Got that poison cloud thing down. That might be game. 25 minutes. That might be game. Yeah, just those brood lords and their feathers. You know, they don't even care about the liberation zone. They're just chomping those things up. Yeah. That's GG right there, but I guess the Terran player doesn't have to. The real question is, can they turn this into a push? And they're about to try. What do they got here? There's nothing. There's a bunch of command centers with radar dishes on top that are just not mining. I mean, I'll stick it out, but I don't see why we gotta wait 3 minutes to see a GG. You know, a Terran army takes longer to build than the Zerg army. I don't think, you know, they're not going to have time to replace that. Okay, so they got a bunch of nice stuff. This is their last ditch effort. See, they just melt away, yeah. They're trying to build up. What were they going for? Vikings. I thought they were going to go for battle cruisers. It's too late for battle cruisers now. If they'd had battle cruisers like 10 minutes earlier, they could have done something with them. Yeah, I mean, so they still got bases, but that was all their production. Yuck. Well, that's how Liberty dies. I mean, it's a tough situation. I think, like, fundamentally, this Terran player was afraid to go on creep, and then when they did go on creep, they got wrecked. So it's sort of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know, Terrans are right to be afraid of Zerg, because Zerg are like spooky, nasty aliens. And they're really gross and scary. But you gotta just not be afraid of them. You don't think like a character in the movie Alien. You think like a Terminex exterminator. And this guy played like he was in a horror movie, and he died like he was in a horror movie. I don't know why he hasn't PG'd yet. What's he trying to do? What's his hope right here? You know, he should be evacuating the survivors back to Earth. Look at all those lings running in to finish the job. They want to chomp. Oh yeah, I got 6 or 7 Thors left. Just gonna change this. Some festers mind control and they start blowing each other up. They start shooting each other. Yeah, and then he says pretty broken, like it's Balance's fault, right? Okay. Great. Well, now, what did I say? That there was a decisive moment here at like 12. I'm gonna go back and check that out. You can look at the map throughout the game. Okay. You can see here it seems roughly even. I mean, because Zerg is used to being a few bases ahead. Here the Terran's doing pretty well. Look at that. They expand a little greedy, but they manage to hold it. So like all through here, they should be doing pretty well. But what goes wrong for them? What goes wrong for them? Right here, they look like they're doing well, but Zerg has the map control. Even here, you can see how that little bit of creep spread offers a lot of options for how to get onto the map. And by the time they get here, they have a lot of map control. They have a lot of options. Hard for Terran to move around. This is after that battle I was discussing. I believe there's a turning point, right? Around 12. Prior to this, you could imagine that this gets cleared up. Let's see it. Let's see what I'm talking about. I mean, there was a big battle at, like, I don't know, I want to say 18 or 24 or something. But I think there was a more decisive moment happens around this point. Slow it down. Alright, here's the Terran army. He's got a big army. A lot of mech. Tanks, Hellions, and Thors. That's not exactly what I'd call a composition. He scans, starts burning creep. These Hellions are off by themselves when they discover this army, which I guess they should have known was there. Look at it from his perspective. You can see how much vision he's got. He knows there's nothing on his flanks anywhere near here. He knows there's nothing on this hill or this hill, which means he knows he's pretty safe fighting in that choke point, even though he's Zerg. And then he discovers there's tanks back there also. He can probably guess, especially when he sees these guys coming back, he can probably guess that they're coming in with the army. Meanwhile, this Terran player drops a scan so he knows how much is there, and it looks kind of small. I mean, you know, he sees Vipers, he sees a few Corruptors, a bunch of Banelings, bunch of Hydras, and not that much else. And he's got a big army here. So what happens? He waits a moment because he's afraid to go on creep. This army pulls back, seems to separate. The air units stay here. The queens go into the choke point, while all of these ranged infantry go up on the hill. The air units are there in the choke point, and then the Terran's entire army is going into this choke point. Thors are behind the tanks and they're not really shooting. The tanks siege up, sort of blocking the Thors there. The whole Zerg army has now come in and they're fighting here. I feel like the Terran player should have put some shit up here, but I guess the Zerg, you know, they had all their Hydras and shit up there, so they could have fought this way if the Terran had gone to put the tanks on the high ground and the Thors on the low ground. So now these tanks are busy sieging. Is this one shooting? Oh yeah, they got some kind of, I don't know, disabling attack. Anyway, they blew up all that stuff, and what they didn't blow up retreated down here. And then here's the decisive moment. They won the pass. That makes sense. Terran wins the fight in the choke point. And then they retreat again because they're afraid to go in there, which is reasonable because they would probably get surrounded and slaughtered if they went in there. But then, they think about it, and I think it's something about the pace of the game and the economic timing and stuff. Like, this Zerg player is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're on 6 bases. If you look at how well mined they are, you could guess, like, this one's mostly mined out and is sort of okay. That these are actually all mining pretty well. But you get the idea that you can't let him just keep macroing with all of this map control. Right, so this Terran player is probably feeling like he has to go for it, especially since he just won that battle. Now, if he had attacked, that's all that's left. If he had attacked at that moment, a minute or 30 seconds ago, where he just won the battle and he was afraid, he could have done a lot of damage. Well, there are broodlords up. You don't want to fight broodlords at all, to be honest, but it doesn't get better. Like, as you've seen over the course of the next 10 minutes, the broodlord problem only gets worse. And then here's the problem. This Terran player goes and burns creep on the flanks just so he feels like he has something to do with his army. There we go. Now these Zerg, I think they might be trying to bait him. Or maybe just like scouting. They kind of want to take out this base, but I don't think the Zerg care about this base. You saw when they attacked, they went straight up through here. They went through the natural and the main. See, yeah, exactly. They pop out of the Nidus and they go for the main. I mean, that was an ill-fated attack. They should have put more into it and it would have done well. But you understand what's his name? Lambo. He went for the throat. He went for the head. When he attacked, he went straight into the main. And this Terran player is saying, well, I'm not sure if I can win, so I'm just gonna burn some creep around the edges. And it's like, it's like if you have 150 cockroaches in your house and you kill the 14 that you see in your kitchen, it doesn't solve the problem. He has to take out this base. Well, I don't care about that. He has to take out this base, right? He has to take out the infestation pit and the spawning pool. And the spire. And he's not thinking that way. He's not thinking like this. He's not thinking about this ramp and this ramp. And this high ground here. I don't know what he's thinking about. He's thinking about burning creep over here. What's he trying to do? Get more map control? You're not going to get those creep tumors. Alright, I thought there was a decisive battle. Is he going to push this? Is he going to push this? $16? Yeah, let's go to 1630. Keep watching, because I'm pretty sure he's about to get dicked. Okay, he's shooting creep tumors, plowing in here right. Now he's got Hydras behind him. Just a few. They'd be dumb to engage. What's going on here? What do we see? The army is hanging back. Those Hydras, I lost sight of them. They must have gotten blown up. Maybe it was a distraction. Now he's deep in the doo-doo. Look at him. What's he see? Oh, there he goes. He hit that army with the scan. Good job. Doesn't know what's behind him. Doesn't know what's on this high ground. Doesn't know what's over here. Doesn't know what's down here. Presumably should be knowing that he has to go this way. That's sort of the way he is trying to go. But when he sees all those broodlords, he might realize that he's gonna lose this army if he keeps fighting, and he might reasonably decide to just run away. But he doesn't. I mean, he blows up the hatch and now he's shooting extractors? Shooting extractors? No, I mean, it's like you either go for the throat or you go home at this point. He's splitting up his army a little bit. Alright. We don't need to see what the Zerg player sees, because we know the Zerg player sees everything that's happening on free, right? And now the fungal growth and the poisonous cloud goes down. And the Thor is shooting its brethren, and its brethren are trying to blow up these guys, I guess. Those guys or whatever. And he's not even losing broodlords because he's fighting with free units. Boom. That's done. That's disgusting. That's nasty. It's over. Like, what can you say about that? I mean, I think, again, it's like he should have run away. He wanted to run away and he didn't. And then, like, he attacked bravely and it didn't work either. So it's like that's why he says at the end of the game, like, this is broken or whatever, because he's thinking about it with the wrong mindset. You know, it's like he's letting his fear confirm itself, basically. That's all I got to say about that.